Hello, it's Lieutenant Colonel Stuart Crawford here again with another podcast in the series of military and defence and security themes. This occasion, I want to shift my eyes away from Ukraine, where we've concentrated mainly on the past few podcasts, and look instead at another area of the world where tensions are rising. Whilst the eyes of the world have quite naturally been on the continuing war in Ukraine, we sometimes have to remind ourselves that there are other areas of the globe where there are continuing conflicts. Much of Africa is blighted by armed struggles. The Middle East is far from settled. Think of Syria and Iraq. And then there's Cyprus. Now, whilst this island at the eastern end of the Mediterranean has been peaceful for a while, simmering tensions are never far from the surface. I was reminded of this when I read that, and I quote, Turkish Cypriot authorities could be preparing to evict United Nations peacekeepers from their bases in northern Cyprus, triggering a new political and security crisis on the divided island, unquote. Why might this be so, I wondered. By way of general background, the United Nations peacekeeping force in Cyprus, which has the acronym UNFICYP, mans the buffer zone between the Greek Cypriots in the south of the island and the Turkish Cypriots in the north. There's a long history of antipathy between the two ethnic groups, and the multinational UNFICYP was set up in 1964 to monitor the simmering situation there. Now, UNFICYP's mandate is renewed by the UN Security Council every 6 months with the consent of the internationally recognised government of Cyprus, which is the southern Greek Cypriot one. The next renewal is due in January 2023, but this time the Turkish Cypriots have said it needs their consent as well. This presents the Security Council with a legal problem, because the United Nations does not recognise the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus, or TRNC, which self-declared in 1983. It's not a UN member, nor is it recognised by the international community. Only Turkey, surprise, surprise, acknowledges its legitimacy. Whilst it may be lacking in international recognition, however, the TRNC boasts a considerable military presence on the island. It's estimated that as many as 35,000 Turkish troops may be stationed there, many more than the Greek Cypriot forces have. Having seen both of these militaries close up, albeit in 1989, I can tell you that if push came to shove and they went at each other, it would be a pretty one-sided contest. Unless things have changed dramatically in the intervening period, the Turkish army is far more professional and competent than their Greek Cypriot equivalents. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. Common sense prevails and the TRNC sorts out its problem with UNFICYP. As far as the UK is concerned, well, we have 2 sovereign base areas on the island, retained for strategic purposes when the rest of Cyprus gained its independence in August 1960. These are at Dikelia and Akrotiri. The latter comprises the Episcopi Cantonment and RAF Akrotiri, much used of late for the RAF's forays over Syria in pursuit of ISIS and other ne'er-do-wells. The Dikelia sovereign base area features the Ios Nikolaos listening station run by GCHQ and partly funded by the Americans. I and my squadron had the dubious pleasure of guarding this particular installation back in the day against, well, nobody really, but guard it we did. I still have bad dreams about the time I wasted in Cyprus on UN duty, but perhaps it was all part of a bigger plan. The Brits are still there and likely to be so for some time yet. Whether UNFICYP will also be there depends very much on a compromise being reached with the TRNC. We await the result with bated breath.